Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to the video and welcome to a 24-hour reading vlog. Oh my goodness, this feels so deja vu-ish, reminiscent of the last time that I was on maternity leave, gearing up for baby number one. I am on maternity leave for baby number two, and I figured what else would be more fun than a 24-hour readathon where I try to get as many books read in a full 24 hours of reading. Why not? Why not be delusional and think that I can get this done before my body requires me to push a baby out, for lack of better words. But I am just so excited to be sitting down today. I have a lot of books on my TBR this month, so I feel like if I can start the month off strong with a TBR that feels like I'm actually making significant progress in some of the chunkier books that are on my TBR for this month, then maybe the TBR will be manageable. Maybe, crossing my fingers, I can actually get it done. Because at this point, looking at the stack, looking at all the books, it's feeling a little like it's not going to happen. Like a punishment is coming, So I'm just hoping that I can get a lot of reading done today, and I want to bring you guys along. So I am going to be doing the style of 24-hour readathon where I stop and start the timer whenever I am not reading and reading. So it will be a full 24 hours of reading, which means I can get a lot of book done. Great. I can English. I can get a lot of books done if you really think about it, because half of the time, not even half of the time, 99% of the time I'm reading a book at 3.5 times speed. So the likelihood of me getting through a good chunk of books is great, except for the fact that the books that I've chosen for the tail end of this video are massive. They're massive. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what I can actually get done in 24 hours. I think when I did this, when I was pregnant with Orion, it took me like 5 days to get the full 24-hour time frame. We'll see if we can do better. I am home alone by myself today. The boys just left. They went to Knott's Berry Farm. It's actually a Thursday. Isaac usually works on Thursdays, but his company had a religious holiday today, so he took Orion to Knott's Berry Farm. I'm here by myself. My only other plans other than reading are laundry, cleaning up around the house, which audiobooks are perfect for that. I'm going to go have brunch with my dad and my grandma today. My dad's working from home and my grandma doesn't work. She's retired. So it's a perfect opportunity to spend time with my family. I have to drop off some things at UPS for Amazon drop-offs and returns. And then I'll be back here reading, giggling, kicking my feet, having a great time. I have the largest water known to man ready so I can stay hydrated. I also have, my doctor would probably disapprove, but I have the largest coffee known to man with a great amount of sugar in it to keep me motivated and giving me the will to live, honestly, truly. So, I could yabber on many more moons about things that don't matter, but let's talk about my TBR and what I plan to read over the next few days. I think that with the 24 hours, I should probably read more than this if I really to break it down, but these are the 4 that I'm going to prioritize. 2 because I have to read them before Sunday, and the other 2 because one is a rollover from September, and one just needs to be tackled, honestly. Just needs to be tackled. So let's go over that TBR. I almost got taken out by my own filming setup. What a time to be alive. Okay, the 2 books that I absolutely have to read, one of which I have a book club meeting on Sunday evening, and the other I have a live show on Sunday afternoon to discuss it with all of you guys, so I have to get it done. The first one being The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. This is the last and final book in this read-along that we're doing with Miss Ashley Poston's books, and we saved the spooky fall adjacent book for last, which I'm very excited for. I've heard great things about this. This really shouldn't take me too long, honestly. I'm not expecting it to be a long read. Every book that I have read by Ashley Poston I have read in a day, so I have a feeling this one's going to be a relatively easy read. The next book I'm going to pick up, which I do have a book club meeting on Sunday night, is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. This was the book club pick for the month. I'm not overly excited about it, if I'm being honest, but I think that it'll be a great one to pop in while I do laundry, fold clothes, I'm out and about, running around. I think I'm going to start with this one because currently it is 9:18, and I'm leaving for brunch at 11. So I feel like I can start with that, get some stuff done, pick up around the house, and then when I come back, I can sit down and listen to The Dead Romantics and get that one knocked out. And then I need to finish Anathema by Carrie Lake. I am currently in the middle of this. I just got to part 2 of the story, chapter 25. I am almost 200 pages into this one. It's definitely a slow build. It's a very slow book. It's very vibey, very atmospheric, very spooky, ooky kooky. It's kind of creepy, for sure. I don't know if this is going to be a book for me personally. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I've heard so many people say a lot of wonderful things. I just don't know if this is my type of read, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to love it. I did buy the special sprayed edge edition of this one because it's so pretty, but I don't know. I'm just not super convinced that I'm going to absolutely love it, but I still have a lot of book left before I can make that full determination. So we'll give it a go. And then the behemoth that is alchemized by Sylvan Yu. I am terrified to read this one, but I feel like if I don't motivate myself in some type of video, it's not getting read, baby. It's just not going to get read. It's a 36-hour audiobook, 1,024 pages of whatever the hell's in there. I don't know what needs to be in there, but I can assure you it doesn't need to be that long. I can already tell you right now. Okay? So I'll be curious to see what I think of it when I get to the end. Everyone seems to be loving it. Everyone seems to be losing their minds, crying, sobbing, having the worst time, but also having the best time at the same time. So, whoa. You know what I meant. It'll be interesting to see what I think of as a person that has no ties to the Harry Potter world. Hermione fanfic is not something that I have a huge love for, even though I know this is a completely rewritten story. The basis is Hermione fanfic. And so I'm assuming there's going to be some type of essence of that in the story. Not that I'll be able to pick that out because I don't know anything about the stories, but I'm hoping that I'll still enjoy it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to pull out my iPad, get the timer going, pop in my audiobook for The Last Thing He Told Me. I think that's the name of the book. And then see how far I can get before I have to take a shower and get myself ready. And then I will, of course, listen to more while I am out and about driving. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I just burped in your ear. I apologize. I'm so sorry. But the coffee, it's doing its work, you know? So, anyways, I am gonna do that. I'm gonna stop yammering. Oh, also, before I begin, just in case you didn't watch my TBR for the month of October, I did have a punishment, and that is to be off of my phone for 24 hours. So, when I start the timer, at whatever time I start the timer, my 24 hours of a day will start. So if I start the timer at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow, I can get back on my phone and do phone things. This does not include audiobooks. This does not include text messages, but it does include any social media, any games, anything like that. I cannot be on my phone for that for a full 24 hours. So wish me luck. I'm here by myself. So it'll be a grind to make sure that I'm not using my phone for other things that are not related. The only thing I'm going to give myself a pass for is Happy Color, because I do that while listening to audiobooks. That's my only exception, and I'm not counting it towards like being on my phone, and that'll be on my iPad anyways. So if you see me happy coloring, just know I'm not breaking my rules. I'm just not going to be on my phone, but I will be listening to audiobooks. That's a great way for me to listen and get things done without, being on TikTok or doom scrolling or something. So those are my stipulations. We'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. And after I don't even know how many minutes long, let's finally get into this fucking vlog. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our first reading check-in. It is currently time 10:49. I am just about to get ready to hop in the shower and head over to brunch with my family. But I do have 22 hours, 55 minutes, and 5 seconds left on the timer. So honestly, not too bad. I am a good chunk of the way through The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. Don't know exactly how far I am into it because my audiobook is on my phone and I was using the Kindle for a little while, but then I switched over to happy color because I wanted something else to do. I was supposed to do some housework, but did I do that? No, I didn't. But it's okay. I have time when I come back to get some more housework done. I am going to throw in a load of laundry before I go, which I need to wrap this up because then I'm going to be late and I hate being late. So, um, yeah, so far so good. I'm actually really enjoying this book. It's definitely intriguing. Has me questioning things. I'm not like thinking it's going to be a new favorite, but it doesn't have me in any section being bored. I'm definitely intrigued by where the story is going. I'm curious to see what these characters are going to find out. Um, I didn't really explain anything about this book, but it basically follows a woman who gets a knock on her door, and it's a 12-year-old girl from her husband's school. I guess like he's a soccer coach, and because he doesn't work there, he works at a massive company called the Shop, whatever that means. And I guess he was at the school. He stopped a 12-year-old girl, paid her $20 to drop off a note at her house. She opens the door. The 12-year-old girl says, "Here's a note from your husband. He said that he couldn't reach you. Here's the note." And the only thing on the note is two words: "Protect her." That's it. And we find out that he was possibly involved in something much larger that went down in his company that could lead to billions of dollars of fraud. And she is trying to figure out the connections and how everything plays out. He also has a daughter. She is the stepmom to a 16-year-old, and their relationship is fraught. They don't have the best connection, and it's the two of them kind of coming together to try to figure out what exactly is going on with her husband slash her dad, and trying to figure out the last thing that he told them. So it's just interesting. I'm intrigued. I definitely don't have any like ideas of what's going on other than the fact that this man's guilty. He's guilty as guilty can be because the way that he is avoiding so much and is so cryptic about things, there's no way that he couldn't be guilty, right? Or at least that's my thought process. Hopefully none of that was spoilers, just my thoughts. I don't really have any ideas about where this is going, but I am curious. I'm going to continue to read it while I go on my drive to brunch and then drop off those packages. And then when I come back, hopefully I'll be pretty close to done. We'll see. It was supposed to take me 2 hours and 51 minutes, so it shouldn't be too long. But I did go ahead and do a calculator of the books that I'm hoping to read this next couple of days, however long the 24 hours takes me. I will put a picture up on the screen of my calculation time of all the books that I have on my list. I did add, I think, one more, maybe two more, I'm not really sure, to get me to where I need to be at the 24-hour mark. It actually goes a little over 24 hours, so I won't be able to finish the last book that I pick up, but it'll put me pretty damn near close. That's if I finished Alchemized, which honestly, I'm terrified. So we shall see. I'm going to hop in the shower. I will give you guys an update once I'm a little bit further into the last thing he told me, and hopefully I can give you guys a better succinct feelings on the book, because as of right now, I don't have a lot. So we'll see. Okay, it doesn't look like it, but a lot of time has passed, and not a lot of productive time, unfortunately. It is currently 5:53, and I have 22 hours and 3 minutes left on my timer. 22 hours, 3 minutes, and 46 seconds to be exact. Listen, here's what happened. Right as I was getting ready to leave, our power went out, which was not ideal. It's very hot in here, very hot in this house. It's the middle of our still summer in Southern California. And when I went out to brunch and came back, I was hoping that they would have fixed whatever was going on in the neighborhood to get the power back on. It did not happen. My son came home early because he wasn't feeling well from knots, and we didn't have any power. I was trying to conserve my phone battery just because I didn't know when we were going to get power again, and so I decided to hold off on any reading, any updates, just because I wanted to make sure that I was going to have electronic things just in case. My son likes to watch TV, and so I wanted to make sure my iPad was charged for him, which is what I have the timer on, and then my phone, I wanted that to be charged too, and I didn't have any idea of when things were going to get back up and running. Thankfully, as you can quite clearly see, we have power again, which is fantastic, and I can get back to reading. It's definitely going to end up putting a damper on a good majority of my plans. Whether or not I get this finished in the next couple of days it was contingent on me reading a good chunk of today, and unfortunately that just didn't happen. I'm hoping I can maybe stay up a little bit later than I would normally to get some more reading done and make up for some of that lost time, but I make no promises. 8:30 is my bedtime, okay? And whenever 8:30 rolls around, best believe I'm exhausted, so we'll see. But Isaac said, go read since you had to put it off. I'm like, okay, thank you. But I do have an update. I am 1 hour and 1 minute away from the end of the last thing he told me, and I will definitely say that it has continued to be a very interesting read. I have yet to be bored throughout the story. I'm definitely curious to where things are going and to the reasons why these characters are making the decisions that they're making. And in the past, they made the decisions that they did, and so I'm intrigued. I'm having an okay time. I'm not having the best time in the whole wide world, but I think for what this book is and the purpose of this book, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. So that is the update on that. I don't really have any more thoughts. I feel like any other thoughts that I give you or any updates on what's going on would really be a spoiler for this book. You go in pretty blind from the synopsis, and I feel like I even told you maybe a little bit too much. So I'm not going to say any more. Just know that I am enjoying my time. I would not even consider DNFing it. I'm very interested to finish, and we will see how it all plays out. After this, I'm going to move on to the Dead Romantics because I do need to get that one done, and I will feel like a lot lighter if I just don't have those two books on my plate for the next couple of days. So those are my current updates. I will check in with you guys when I'm done with the last thing he told me, and I can let you guys know my final thoughts. And that'll put us at just under 20 hours. 21 hours, I think, if I can correctly math. It'll put us at 21 hours and 2 minutes. So actually, it'll be just over 21 hours. Math is mathing, and I failed math, okay? But I'll be getting a little closer. I'll be hopefully can get this under the 20s today. That would be ideal with everything that went on. So I'll let you guys know when I have something fun to share with you. Hopefully a good reading update. Okay, we definitely need a change of scenery. So unlocking a new location. There's not very many options to choose from when it comes to the space for which I live. So I apologize for the monotony of the locations here, but I did make it to almost exactly what I thought I was going to. 21 hours and 2 minutes and 50 seconds left of my timer, with the audiobook for The Last Thing He Told Me now coming to an end. And I genuinely do not know what I want to rate this book. I didn't find it to be overly surprising or shocking or at all like groundbreaking, but I was intrigued from beginning to end. I didn't have any problem sitting down listening to the audiobook and delving into the story. I will give it points for being a very readable, easy to pick up, easy to listen to story, but it definitely didn't have any shocking twist or any thing that I think will stick with me for a long period of time. I feel like when I think about this book, it's just like very mediocre, very middle of the road, very meh. And for as much as I've seen this book around and as much as I've seen it talked about, I was expecting this to be like the next best thing. And maybe that was me going in with the wrong expectations. That's totally plausible. And sometimes it happens like that. It doesn't always work out the way that you want it to with a book, or you've heard so much about it thinking that it's going to be one thing and it ends up not being that thing. And that comes down to reader error. I feel like a lot of the times I like to go into my books blind because of that exact reason, So I'm trying to give the book the benefit of the doubt. Also, keeping in mind that this is not a genre that I usually read. It wasn't something that I wanted to pick up on my own. I picked it up because the book club chose it, not necessarily because I wanted to read it, So I feel like that also kind of skews my perception of the book as a whole. But I don't know. I just didn't find it to be overly incredible, the next best thing. I would recommend it if you want something easy, maybe a palate cleanser for something that, if you've read a lot of dark books in the last few months and you just need something different, I mean, sure, why not? It wasn't that it wasn't a good book, it just wasn't a great book. It wasn't the best book. And it served its purpose, I think. I don't think the author was trying to necessarily say anything groundbreaking or do anything specific with the story as a whole. And so if that's what you're going for, great. I feel like she did what she wanted to do with the book. At least I hope so. I don't know what I'm going to give it. I think I'm going to settle it at 3. Maybe even like in my head, maybe a 2.75 or a 2.5 star and round it up to a 3 on Goodreads. Because I don't think it was a bad book. I think it's just very middle of the road. Very middle of the road, very middle, very mediocre, very meh. I'm happy I finished it. I can say that I ticked the book off of a list of books I needed to get done, but it won't be a book that I think will stick with me, and it'll probably be a book after a couple of years that I'll forget that I have read, and it'd be like that. So, the next book I'm going to tackle is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Get that off of my mind space so that I can focus on other books that are on my TBR for the month and get to the chunky books that I still have left. So, but the books that I did add on my list that I didn't actually talk about at the beginning were Dark Legacy, the second book in this omnibus bind up. And then, what else did I add? To be honest, I don't remember. it was something else. Now, The Undermining of Twyla and Frank, because I wanted to try to knock out some of these fantasy books, because surprisingly, I have a lot of fantasy on this list this month. I usually tend to not have as much fantasy, but I still have Rose and Chains, another Hermione fanfic, Direbound, Ruin of Kings, Alchemized, obviously, and Anathema. So, and then I think, like, technically, I mean, it's paranormal, but it's definitely not set in just our regular world, unless you believe in ghosts. Then in that case, maybe so. You know, whatever you think. I believe in spirits. I don't know about talking to them, but we're getting off track. We're going far away from where I had originally intended this conversation to go. So let's dial it back in. These are the books that I'm hoping to read, but I think I just really need to focus on, obviously, the Dead Romantics. That's first and foremost priority. And then I'm gonna knock out Alchemized, because I feel like if not now, then when? You know, truly. Good morning, besties. Happy Friday. It feels like it's been a while, and it has. In fact, it's been a full 24 hours past since I started this challenge. I know that because I timed myself for my 24 hours with no phone, and I did get through my 24 hours without using social media or any games or anything like that. Just the essential apps on my phone that I needed to use to communicate, and Happy Color. That was my only stipulation, and I did get quite a bit of reading done last night. I'm pleasantly surprised with my timer for today. That being said, it's 10:32, and I haven't started reading yet. My father-in-law just took Orion to the store to go run an errand, so I have a little bit of time to myself. I don't know how long, but I do have a little bit of time. And then I have to, like, do all the other, mom things before lunch. Before nap time, which includes lunch. But I am at 18 hours, 55 minutes, and 24 seconds left on my timer for the day, which is great. Great news. I also have 55 or 51. One of those numbers is right. I think it's 51 minutes left of The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. And I wish that I could say that I'm in love with the story. And that means it's two back-to-back books that I feel like are just, like, very middle of the road, which is so unfortunate because I've heard such good things about the Dead Romantics, and I wanted to love it. It's just, I have no emotional attachment to the story, no emotional attachment to the characters. There are a lot of sad things that are happening in this book and in this character's life, and not nary a singular tear has fallen from these eyeballs. So I just know that I'm not, like, emotionally connected, because I'll cry about anything. I've cried at billboards driving down the freeway, so with no context, no anything needed, I can cry at the drop of a hat. Nothing here is making me even a little bit emotional. So I don't know if it's me or if it's the book, because it seems like two back-to-back books that I've just felt kind of like, so I don't really know where I stand. I'm hoping that by the end it'll be something that I can, grow to love, but I only have 51 minutes left of the audiobook. It's feeling pretty slim that it's going to be anything more than a 3, maybe a 3.5 stars. But the ending still has a chance to redeem itself and bring it all back for me. Again, like I said, 3 stars is not a bad rating. It's just I wanted it to be a 5-star, especially because I loved the 7-Year Slip so much. And I feel like this one is just missing a spark between the characters that I really, really need, and I'm just not getting it, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I'm going to finish that up today, and then I am going to start Alchemized. Even though I am currently 200 pages almost into Anathema, I feel like Alchemized needs to be my move. I think I talked about that yesterday. So once Orion goes down for a nap, that'll be at least 2 hours of reading time that I can get done while he naps. That is going to be focused on reading Alchemized, and then I will hopefully get some more reading done tonight once Orion goes to bed. So that's my current updates on life and everything. I had breakfast and coffee this morning. I am severely dehydrated at the moment because I'm craving water, but all of the liquid that I'm drinking is making me loaded and nauseous. So just so much fun. I'm having so much fun. But I need to get up and get myself something to drink, and then we will listen to the rest of I cannot say that title for some reason. Like, it's like my mouth wants to move faster than the title will allow. The Dead Romantics. And I will give you an update when I have something fun to share with you. Okay, besties, 18 hours, 3 minutes, and 44 seconds left on the timer, and I have finished The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I am happy with a 3.5-star rating for that book. I thought that it was very sweet, it was very wholesome, it was very fall adjacent. It's a perfect book to read during the spooky and fall seasons. It's just literally built for that. I just wasn't emotionally connected. I did have a singular tear run down my cheek at one particular part of this book, but I just wasn't overly compelled by the characters. I thought that I don't know if it was supposed to be a twist. I think that for me, it was pretty obvious from the beginning where the story was going, and it didn't feel very shocking. I don't know if it was supposed to. I don't know if Ashley Poston had built it into the story that way so that you kind of knew what was about to take place and where things were going to go and how the story was going to end. But for me, it just felt very predictable. And I don't necessarily mind that in a romance. I don't think there's any problem with it being a predictable romance. But I don't know. I read it as though it was supposed to be like this shocking thing that was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, this is how it's going to turn out. And for me, like, as soon as a line dropped in the story, I was like, okay, well, I know where this is going and I know how it's going to end. And it didn't feel surprising to me. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I feel conflicted because I wanted to love it. I feel conflicted because I thought it was going to be a new favorite. Um, but not every book is going to turn out the way that you want them to, or the rating that you supersede in your head, before you even start it. And that has nothing to do with the author or the writing. I think it just has everything to do with me and my expectations. I think my expectations were just a little too high. Um, that being said, I have read everything that Ashley Poston has written in an adult sense. I have read one of her YA books. I will continue to read her books. I think that she has a great prose and she writes very beautiful words, and her stories are very unique, very different, add something very fun to the genre. But I don't think she's going to be like a new 5-star author for me every time. But definitely like quick, easy reads that are palate cleansers are nice to read and have something different to them, because I feel like a lot of the times you pick up romance and you're like, this feels the same as everything else. And I can definitely say that her stories do not feel the same as everything else. She's very unique in her writing and very unique in her concepts, and I love that. I love that she pushes the envelope and gives us something different every time. It's just not a new fave for me. So it is what it is. I am going to do some laundry, get some housework done, and then I'm going to sit down if I have time. The boys are not back yet, so if I have time, I will start Alchemized. If not, then I will start that when Orion goes down for his nap. So I will update you. I don't have a lot of fun things going on, so the B-roll is few and far between, but hopefully you're still enjoying the vlog, and I will chat with you very soon. Okay, don't mind the fan and Orion singing in the background, even though he's supposed to be taking a nap. But I have 17 hours, 52 minutes, and 54 seconds left on the time clock. I have made it to page like 20-something of Alchemized, really not that far before Orion got home and I had to do lunch and get him ready for a nap. But I'm going to lock in, I'm going to read the first 100 pages, and then I will check in with you guys after 100 pages and let you know how I feel. I don't know if 100 pages is as far as I read the last, like when I read Manacled, but so far it's already reading pretty similar. I mean, obviously things are changing. There's not as many of the same parallels and similarities like in regards to the world it was originally based off of, but I'm definitely seeing some similarities in the storyline and the progression. So we'll see how I feel when I get 100 pages in, and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, besties, I have officially cracked the first 100 pages of Alchemized by Sinlin Yu, and I don't have much to say that I haven't already said. The first 100 pages is nothing that I haven't already read before in Manacled. Again, very similar, very similar in tone, similar in events. Nothing is really changing from the original story except for, the big things, having to rewrite an entire world around something that's not Harry Potter based. But other than that, like, the events have been the same except for the sexual assault, which I am happy about because that was very uncomfortable to read in Manacled. That has not been the case so far in the 10% that I have read in this book, and it was very much prevalent in the first 10% of Manacled. So, that being said, I'm enjoying that aspect of the book a lot more than I had originally in Manacled, but you're not meant to enjoy it, obviously. So, that is points for Alchemized. I mean, yay. So excited about that. I took a shower. I'm feeling a lot better. I am tired, but I'm hoping to continue to push through. I'm gonna reach for another 100 pages of Alchemized before I take another break. I'm trying not to let myself get too, bogged down. And if I need to switch to something else in between, I can always do that. But I do have 17 hours, 5 minutes, and 19 seconds left on my clock. So I'm making good progress today. I wasn't expecting to get anywhere near the finish today. So honestly, this is pretty good. The number's pretty good. I feel like I'm getting some stuff done, and it makes me feel like I'm accomplishing something. And maybe this won't take me 5 days, as long as the other one did. But I make no promises. So, without further ado, let's get right back into Alchemized. Hello, besties. It's been a few days. Life hit and life hit hard. It's been a crazy couple of days. It's been a busy couple of days. I knew Saturday wasn't going to be the best day for me in regards to reading because I had a baby shower to go to, which was an hour away. And so, I knew it was going to take up a good chunk of my day. Saturday ended up being a lot more emotionally and physically, mentally taxing than I had originally thought. We had a little bit of a baby scare, but baby is safe. We're good. Still cooking. Still hanging out in there. But that took a lot out of me, and on Sunday I just was not in the mood to read and focus on things that weren't being a couch potato. So today I'm picking this vlog back up. I'm not gonna give up because I worked very hard to get this timer down to where I did it the last couple of days, and I feel like I owe it to myself and I owe it to you guys to finish this video. I have a lot of reading plans. It is day 1 of the Spoopy Swooniversary event, our 2-year Swoony Readers event, and I just want to kick it off with a bang. I want to go out swinging, and I have a lot of fun things that I'm planning on reading for this particular readathon. It's a week-long readathon. I don't think that this video will go as long as the readathon goes, but I will continue it until I get my timer to 0. Speaking of the timer, we have 16 hours, 5 minutes, and 11 seconds left. Honestly, not too bad. Being a mom of a toddler and having a lot on my plate, I feel like I did pretty good for the first, 2 days, because I read Thursday, Friday. I'll take it as a win. I'm not counting Saturday, Sunday as my 2 days, so we are on day 3 of this challenge, and let's see if we can beat my 5 days from my last time that I did this, my last attempt. So let's fucking get this done. I am still reading Alchemized by Sinlin Yu. When I stopped my timer at the 16-hour mark, I was on chapter 15, 203 pages in, so 20% into this behemoth of a book. That being said, it's not on my TBR for the Spoopy Swooniversary event, and I have a lot of books on that TBR. I'll put the TBR up on the screen here if you want to see what I plan on reading for the event or for the readathon, but my options for the next things to start really aren't great, if I'm being honest, because 3 of the books on that TBR, at least 3 of the books on that TBR are fantasies, and I'm already in the middle of Alchemized and Anathema, so it's like I don't really want to start another fantasy book, but I'm feeling as though my options are limited. So yeah, I have The Rune of Kings, Rose and Chains, which I guess those are the only 2 fantasies on my list for the event. We also have Soul Searching, which I want to read a little closer to the live show, which is on the 14th. I will confirm and put that on the screen. And then Hail Mary, which would be a good option if I want something short and quick. Same thing with Leave Me Behind by Cam or Nova. It could be short and quick. And I know The Gravity of Us is going to be short because I picked it for short read. So I have options. I just don't really know what I'm in the mood for. I'm feeling like maybe The Gravity of Us could be a good win because I have at least an hour drive to where I'm going and an hour drive back. I'm going to go meet up with my sister for just a tad small amount of time because she needs my help with something. So it was thrown into the works, a spanner in the works. I had planned on being here right on time at 1 o'clock for the live shows, but she texted me and she's like, I need help. And I was like, okay, I'll go, but hopefully I can get back here on time. So it's just gonna be a chaotic, crazy day per usual, per Kaylani vlogs. The chaos is always reigning supreme. So I'm gonna get on the road so that I can hopefully get back in time to start the reading sprints at 1 with Karina and Dana, and then figure out what I'm gonna read. So I think maybe I will go with, I don't know what I want. Like, I don't know what I'm in the mood for. I think maybe I'll do Leave Me Behind by KM or Nova. I might not finish it by the time I get back, but I'll at least be pretty close. I'm just not in the mood for The Gravity of Us right now. So Leave Me Behind by Cam or Nova is going to be my next read, and I will give you guys an update when I have one. Alright, it looks like I haven't even moved from this spot, but I am back home, thankfully. I was able to drive out, help my sister, and get back home with plenty of time before the live show. So no stress, which is great because I was worried that I was going to be late, but I'm not, which is amazing. But I did work on my timer while I was gone. I have 14 hours, 9 minutes, and 31 seconds left of my timer. And honestly, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like I'm making wonderful progress in the reading space, and I am just having a really good time. I did pick up Leave Me Behind by KM Moranova, and listen, I put this book off for a long time because I was afraid that I wasn't going to like it, because the early reviews when this book was originally self-published were abysmal. Like, literally everybody was just hating it, and I was like, well, I loved her first book. The first book I read by her was The Fabric of Our Souls, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, and then I read Secrets of Alcrows, I think is what it's called. It's the first book in a fantasy romance series, and I didn't really like that one that much. I think I gave it a generous 3 stars. And then I read the sequel, or the companion novel to The Fabric of Our Souls, which is The Ballad of Phantoms and Hope, and I was disappointed by that book. I gave it 3.5 stars. I wanted so much more, and I didn't get what I really wanted out of that book, so I was nervous when picking up this one, but I'm eating it up. I'm having a good time. It is a dark military romance where both of the characters are in a, like, elite dark military force, both badass, both very, very troubled, both just a little depraved and a little sick and a little twisted, and I love it. The kinks in here are very, very hot, and the sex scenes are great, but I also like the tactical aspect of this. It's very well, whoa, I got the chills. Whoa, it's very well thought out. That was so weird. Hopefully I can cut that out. It was very well thought out and very detailed in the military aspect, which is not what I was expecting from this author. So I feel like she's knocking it out of the park. I'm having a great time. It's a quick read. I have an hour and 21 minutes left of the audiobook. I'm on page 262, so I'm like flying through this. I'm having a great time. I'm gonna pop in the audiobook for what I can of this book while I clean up my room, because it is genuinely makes me want to like cry when I look at it. It was clean a little while ago, and then we pulled some more stuff out for the baby a couple days ago, and it's been a mess ever since. I have clothes on the chair that I'm going to be sitting at today to stream at, so I just need to get myself a little bit more situated. I have some laundry to do, so I'm going to try to knock some things off my list before sprints start in exactly an hour. So I have about 45 minutes to get my stuff together before I have to sit down and get myself situated for sprints. So I will bring you guys along the cleanup process. Hopefully, crossing my fingers, I can actually get some stuff done and knocked off my list, and then I can settle in for sprints for the rest of the day. I'm hoping to maybe diamond paint. I feel like I haven't diamond painted in forever, and I would love to do that. So yeah, those are my updates, and I will check in with you guys again soon. Hopefully I'll be done with this book. That is my hope. The next time I check in with you guys, I can say, yay, I finished it, woohoo, yay for me. So I will let you guys know in just a little bit. Good morning, besties. It's been a little while since we chatted. I do have some book updates for you. I'm just about to head out and go get my oil changed for my car. While on maternity leave, I had two things I needed to get done: my oil change and my dog's vaccinations. And so one of those things is getting ticked off the list today, which is great because I really need some freed up mind space in this place right here. So I'm gonna head out. I just packed my bag full of things to keep me occupied because for some reason every time I go to the dealership, at least, it always takes 1,005,000 years. So I brought my laptop, my iPad, 2 books, one of which I have started, one of which I haven't. So I have enough entertainment to keep me going for a little while. I'm actually also gonna pack my Kindle because in case I want to read anything on my Kindle, I have the option. But reading updates. I did finish Leaving Behind by K.M. Moore-Nova. I didn't love the way that this book ended. I just wished it would have panned out differently. It wasn't a bad book. It wasn't a bad ending by any means. It just wasn't the way that I personally wanted the story to wrap up, with everything that had happened throughout the story and this very like push and pull romance. It just felt rushed. The ending felt rushed. But overall, I had a great time with the book. It was so fun. It was brutal. It was fast-paced. It kept me on the edge of my seat guessing what's going to happen next. I loved the tension between the two characters, the sexual tension, the actual like physical tension. They were literally trying to kill each other at times, and it was just so fun to read on the page. It was very entertaining. I had a great time. I'm gonna give it a 4-star. I thought it was a really great, solid read, and I believe this is the first book in a standalone interconnected series that will be having more in the future, which I will definitely read because it was so fun. I liked the backdrop of it. I liked how gritty and dark it was. I liked that these characters like really truly just were depraved and gave no fucks, and I love that. I truly loved it. I had a great time. I'm so glad that I read it. And then I started my prompt for Spell Swoony on the cover with The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons, and I am, from what I can remember, just about 150 pages in, and things are starting to pick up, definitely. I'm getting a lot more insight on the world and where things are going. This is a bit of an interesting read because it does follow 2 different perspectives with an additional narrator. So you have 3 narrations that are happening all at the same time. So you're following Kieran, who has been held captive, and he is forced to tell his story of how we got to where we were. It kind of reminds me of Empire of the Vampire, which came out after this book, but it's just triggering like the same kind of like storytelling. But he's been captured and he's being forced to tell his story. So you have Kieran's timeline where he's going back to a certain date to talk about what he thinks is important in his story, and then you have somebody else in the story that has captured him, that knows about how his life went down because she's able to read memories, I think, and she's telling his story from a different timeline, not a different timeline necessarily, but a little bit further back, and you're getting more insight on how we got to where Kieran is telling his story from. And then you have this additional narrator that's kind of like popping in with footnotes to tell us different things about the world or discrepancies in the 2 stories that don't quite add up, or the things that he wants to add in. It's kind of like, I would say it's humorous at times, but also informational at times. It's very interesting. It's definitely different in regards to the storytelling aspect of it. I'm very intrigued. I feel like the first 100 pages of any adult fantasy novel, especially any adult fantasy novel in a series, is kind of boring. There's not a lot going on, but we're learning a lot about Kieran, about the world, about his abilities, about his background, and how we get to where we are today. I'm just very curious to see like how everything is going to play out. So I'm going to bring that, but I also brought The Gravity of Us by Brittany C. Cherry, just in case I want something to break up the darker fantasy of it all, or heavier, it's not really dark, but the heavier fantasy ideas that are floating around in my brain. If I want something that's a little bit lighter, I will pick up The Gravity of Us. It is my short read, and it shouldn't take me too long if I do decide that I want to blow through that, but those are the 2 books that I brought with me. And that would mean I'm making pretty good progress on my bingo TBR for the week, which is great because it's only a week-long readathon, and I do have lofty goals. So I'm gonna head out, go grab myself something to eat before my appointment at 10:15, grab some coffee, treat myself to a nice like fall drink, and then we'll get my oil changed, and I will hopefully have a reading update for you. I did also bring my mouse and my computer, so will I get sucked into Stardew Valley? To be determined, but at this point, I'm hoping to just read my book, but we'll see. Man, it has been a while. It has been a while, and I don't know what to tell you. I just have not been doing like actual updates, but I do have an update for you. It is day 5 of filming this video, and I do have 5 hours and 46 minutes left on my timer. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I want to beat my record of last time. I did. Will I? No, because this is going to go until tomorrow, because there's absolutely no way I'm reading another 5 hours at 8:20 at night. But I do have reading updates for you. Yesterday, when I went to get my oil changed, I did start and finish The Gravity of Us by Brittany C. Cherry. Unfortunately, I didn't love it. I think I'm going to settle on a 2.5 star for that one. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be. I didn't connect to any of the characters. I did not like the romance, or how things played out, or her family, or the decisions that were made. I think that all of it was just very interesting. I did have moments of emotion, but mostly because I'm 38 weeks pregnant. I have 2 weeks left of my pregnancy. I'm an emotional gal, okay? I could cry at the drop of a hat. So I'm not really surprised that I cried over some things, but honestly, I just wasn't super enthralled by the story as a whole. Speaking of not being enthralled by stories, The Rune of Kings by Jen Lyons. I have made it to page 258 of this book, a good chunk of the way through a chunky adult fantasy, and honestly, I'm bored. I'm in a softie and effort. I'm in the middle of a readathon. I'm trying to get things done for my bingo board. I don't want to dwell on things for too long that are going to hold me up from finishing the other books that I need to read. And this one is just not doing it for me for the time being. I do own the second book in the series somewhere. So I would like to continue this and see if I would like to continue on with the series as a whole. I just don't think now is the right time for me to work on this one. I'm not enthused. And the reason I didn't talk to you guys any sooner about this is because I really don't have a lot of thoughts. I am still head empty, no thoughts. I'm confused. It's not necessarily the storyline that's confusing. I just don't think I understand the world or the magic or where this story is going or what the intention is or what I'm supposed to be rooting for. And I feel like at 250 pages in, I should have some sense of something. Give me something, anything. And I just don't have that, and I'm feeling bummed about it because I'm trying to be in my adult fantasy era, and it's just not working for me. It's just not working. So, you know, we're just gonna let it be. We'll come back to it at a different time. In the meantime, I'm gonna pick up The Undermining of Twilight and Frank. This is gonna basically take the place of my spell Swoony on the cover with this one. I have had this on my TBR for quite some time. I really enjoyed the first book in the series, The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. I gave that one 4 stars. It was very much a very perfect fall read, so I'm excited to see what I think of this one. And it is on my TBR for TBR Tarot, so what better way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and read this one. So I'm going to pop in the audiobook, continue to roll the timer, see how much I can get done for today, and then finish this up tomorrow, because tomorrow has to be the day. I can't do any more days. I think I've officially lost count of the days for which this video has been going. It is Saturday the 11th, and I think I started this on last Thursday. Whatever day that was when I started this video, and we're still going. Granted, I do have 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 20 seconds on my timer, so today should be the day. But I said that 3 days ago, and here we are. I do have some reading updates for you. I don't have my book with me because it's all the way over there, and I am far too uncomfortable to be getting up again. But I did finish The Undermining of Twilight and Frank by Megan Bannon. I did enjoy it. I didn't love it. It was very cozy. It was very fall coded because I think I think that cozy fantasy, especially cozy romantic fantasy, definitely fits the fall vibes, and I feel like it hit that to a T. I don't know, I just didn't fall in love with these characters. I wasn't extremely enthralled by the story as a whole. The dragons were very cute. The baby dragon was adorable. I liked the romance at the center. I didn't have any problems with it. I didn't have any issues with the actual relationship. I did have a couple of issues with the main character and the way that she talked about herself, and her body image was very frustrating to read page after page after page, chapter after chapter. Every time she got into a intimate scene talking about how much she didn't like her body, the way that she looked, how she didn't think that she was attractive. Like, I get that people have body image issues. I'm not saying that no book should have that. It was just kind of like I think it bogged down the story a little bit more than I had wanted. Oh, whoa, I don't know what that noise was. And I feel like there was no, like, overall like confidence boost for the character, other than like a man showed me affection and now I must be gorgeous. Like, I feel like it didn't come from within, it came from outward sources, and I didn't love that aspect of it. But other than that, I didn't really have any problems with the book. I just didn't fully connect to the story and the characters the way that I would have wanted, so I didn't give it like an amazing high star rating. It wasn't a 5-star. I gave it 3.5, and I could even probably bump it up to a 4 if I really wanted to on Goodreads. I think I'm gonna leave it at a 3 with my rating, knowing that I'm at a 3.5. It just doesn't feel like a 4 to me, but I'm really glad I read it. I have loved this series as a whole. Like, I liked it as a whole. I think that it's a great series. I'll definitely recommend it. I will continue on with the series because I think that the third book has potential to be really great as well, and I think they're just perfect like fall cozy reads. I don't have a copy of the third book. I decided not to buy a special edition when Fairy Loot or Illumicrate decided to continue the series just because I hadn't read the second book, but I will definitely continue on. So, with my 2 hours and 15 minutes left, I am going to be starting Rose and Chains by Julie Soto. I had put this one off because I am currently reading Alchemized, and it is also a Hermione fanfic rewritten story, but this one's actually on my TBR for my bingo board. I need to get it done anyways, so I might as well pick this one up and go back to Alchemized when I have a little bit more time to focus my attention on it. I am 200 pages into that one, and I'm liking it. It's big and it takes a lot of brain power to read, so I'm hoping that this one is a little bit easier. I've heard really great things. I've heard nothing but good things about this one so far. Everyone has been loving it, so I'm hoping that I also love it. I need to get this sticker off, but I'm gonna spend my last 2 hours reading this one. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it in the next like 2 hours, not the book, but I don't know if I'm gonna finish my timer. Orion is just going down for a nap, so technically I do have time to finish it. He should nap for more than 2 hours. I just don't know if I'm gonna have the mental capacity to read for 2 hours, so we shall see. I'm going to try my best to give this one a go, and hopefully I love it as much as everyone else seems to. So wish me luck, crossing my fingers, and I'm hoping I can finish this up today because I think I am over it. I think I'm tired of filming this video. Okay, I do have my lighting dimmed, so hopefully you can see me okay, but I am gonna hunker down for the last 37 minutes of this timer, and then we will be done. I don't even know how I got to this point, but I'm here. 37 minutes. I did make it to page, let's see, 154 of Rose and Chains. I am really enjoying it. Having a really good time listening to the audiobook, and so far the story is very intriguing, so I'm going to finish 37 minutes of my timer. I don't know where that's going to put me in regards to page count. I'm hoping closer to page 200. That'll put me about halfway, almost halfway, into this book, and I will give you my final update on everything. I did read quite a few books in this vlog. It just took me a long time to get there, so without further ado, let's finish this up. Okay, it's official! I am done with the 24 hours of reading. It took way longer than I had anticipated this video taking, but that's okay. You know what? As much as I have going on in my life right now, I feel like I did okay, and I read a lot of books, so I will take it as a win. I don't know why my Delulu brain thought that if it took me that long to do 24 hours of reading when I wasn't a mom, when I was pregnant with Orion, that I could beat my time. And I was Delulu brain, for real. It was truly me living in a land of absolute delusion. And you know, sometimes you just have to be humbled, and I, for one, have been. So let's just quickly wrap up what I was able to read over the last 8 days. I did not count the days that I didn't actually read, which there were a few days in between this challenge that I didn't pick up a book at all, but it did take me 8 full days to finish this 24-hour timer. You know, it'd just be like that. It'd be like that. But honestly, again, super happy with everything that I was able to read, and glad that I got so many books knocked out, especially during the week of the Spoopy Spooniversary Readathon. It was the perfect opportunity to knock some books off and get my bingo board down to a manageable level with only a few days left in the Readathon. So I will take it. It's a win. A win's a win. But let's go ahead and start with the 2 books that I don't own that I did read during this time period, and that is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I liked it. It was okay. It wasn't a bad book. It was a pretty mediocre, middle-of-the-road story for me. I gave it 3 stars, and I would definitely recommend it for people that like books like that, but it wasn't a book that was necessarily my favorite. And then we had back-to-back books that weren't necessarily my favorite, and the second one that I read was The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. I gave that one a 3.5 star after the discussion that I had with the Swoony Readers. I settled on a 3.5. It was a good book. It did not blow me out of the water. I wasn't overly emotionally invested in the characters, and with a book that had so much emotional weight to it, you would think that I would have been more emotionally involved, and I just wasn't. So 3.5, I'm happy with my rating. I'm sad that I didn't love the last book by this author that's currently published, but you win some, you lose some, and you can't, unfortunately, win them all. So that is what it is. And then my first physical read that was actually on my shelves was Leave Me Behind by K.M. Moranova. I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was fast-paced, it was dark, it was gritty. It was everything that I wanted in this romance. I am very excited to read more K.M. Moranova in the future. She has, I feel like, redeemed herself in my eyes. I'm very excited that I finally picked this one up, and if she does write more in this world, I will definitely read it. Then we have another disappointing read, and that is The Gravity of Us by Brittany C. Cherry. I just didn't really care for this book as a whole. I didn't like the relationship. I didn't like the characters. I found them all to be super insufferable. It was a journey, and a journey that I didn't really love. It was a short book. It was easy to get through. I read it in pretty much one sitting. I don't regret picking it up because it is the last book in this series, but it's definitely not one that I will keep on my shelves, not one that I'm excited to talk about or to recommend. So I think this is going to be my last time that I read Brittany C. Cherry. She just has determined to be not the author for me. I don't really love the execution of her books, and sometimes, most of the time, it's the characters of her books, and I just feel like I should just move on to more people that I do like. The next one I have in my stack is one that I DNF'd. I got to page 258 of The Ruin of Kings. I'm going to do a soft DNF on this one. I do want to keep it on my shelves and maybe go back to it at a different time. Maybe not in the middle of a readathon where I'm trying to get quite a few books read. But I would like to go back to it at some point when I have a little bit more brain power and energy to focus on a story like this. I didn't necessarily dislike the writing or the story as a whole. I was just bored, and I need a little bit more motivation to get through it. So I will keep it on my shelves. I do own the second book in the series. I will come back to it at some point. Maybe I'll do a whole video around reading books that I have soft DNF'd. That could be fun to push myself to get some of those books off of my shelves, but that one is a DNF for now. I also picked up and finished The Undermining of Twyla and Frank by Megan Bannon. I gave this one a 3.5 star. It was a good read, not a great read, not the best read I've ever had, but it was fun, it was enjoyable, I had a good time reading it. It's the perfect fall, cozy fantasy romance, and I would definitely recommend it for the fall season. And finally, the last book that I have worked on during this vlog is Rose and Chains by Julie Soto. I did make it to the halfway point at page 214 of this book, and I am really enjoying it. It definitely has a lot of similarities to Manacled, or Alchemized, which I am currently also reading, so I feel like that does both books a bit of a disservice because I'm reading them so close together, but I did put Alchemized on the back burner while doing this vlog just because I knew I wasn't going to be able to focus on it, and this one I'm actually enjoying a lot more. It's a lot more fast-paced. I'm getting a lot more of the angsty relationship vibes that I wanted from Alchemized that I haven't quite gotten yet. Granted, that book is much larger than this one, and it's also a standalone and not a series, so I feel like they're very different in a lot of aspects, but very similar in a lot of aspects as well, and I'm just having a great time with it. It's a quick read, I'm enjoying the characters, I like where the story is going. I don't really know what to expect or what to anticipate, but I am having a good time. It's a very solid read, a good ride, and I can definitely see myself loving the book as a whole and continuing on with the series when the next book comes out next year. So I feel like not even owning 2 of the books that I worked on in this vlog, this was pretty damn good. And seeing as I've gotten halfway through Rose and Chains and halfway through The Rune of Kings, that puts me at 6 full books pretty much that I have finished for this vlog. I'll take it. I will take it. 24 hours of reading did me well. I knocked off a bunch of books on my TBR, and I'm happy with the results. I feel like I did pretty damn good. And you know what? I'm gonna pat myself on the back because it's been a crazy 10 days since I started this video, and I made it work. I made it work. So I am just so excited that I was able to do this. I hope that you guys enjoyed whatever I was able to pull together. I don't know how succinct this is going to be or how well I can edit it all down, but hopefully you enjoyed it nonetheless. Let me know if you've ever done a challenge where you try to read a full 24 hours starting and stopping the timer. How many days did it take you? Were you able to get it done in just like 1 or 2? Because I envy you. I want to be you when I grow up. Let me know. Let me know. And then if you've read any of the books I talked about today, let me know your thoughts down below. I would love to chat about the books that I read for this week. But that is the end of this video, finally. If you made it to the end and you don't know anything else to comment, leave a book stack emoji. And I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!